Hey everybody, a very warm welcome to Inspire Middle East. I'm Rebecca McLaughlin-Easton. In these times of lockdown and self-isolation, we're putting things within an artistic frame, letting the culture vultures amongst you know how you can get your art fix without having to leave your home. A little bit later on in the show, we'll take the view of a Libyan princess who believes that art can go some way to rebuilding conflict-ravaged countries.
The young people in Libya found a way to express themselves through art and culture.
But first, Salim Essaid takes a digital tour of some artistic and historic landmarks and asks, is a new age of museum going virtually here?
In an era of self-isolation for many, some people have found ways to have cultural experiences from their couches. They're electronically traveling to museums and galleries across the globe, with sites like Google Arts and Culture, giving homebodies access to around 2,000 cultural institutions from about 80 countries. These include Spain's Guggenheim Museum. Temporarily closed, online visitors can enter the Monument of Modernism free of charge, and look upon Jeff Koons' gigantic, multicolored stainless steel bouquet of tulips. And it's not just museums offering online access. Why not explore the ancient tombs of the Egyptian pyramids? Or even wander at some of the world's largest stalactites in Lebanon's Ja'ita Grotto. Itching to explore, Google says that as of late, people are becoming more aware of these online cultural outlets.
More people have been visiting the Google Arts and Culture website. And we are happy to see that more and more people find the diverse content that we make available through the Arts and Culture website and through our free hub worthwhile in this challenging time.
Google is using modern technology to create and upload digital replicas of artworks. Using their app in augmented reality, people are able to transport famous works such as Vincent van Gogh's The Starry Night all the way from the walls of the Museum of Modern Art in New York to their own living room. There's also an art selfie function, which allows people to find their portrait lookalike by taking a picture of themselves. Then it scans tens of thousands of artworks displayed in museums across the globe to make a match. Looking to match these ideas are art institutions and art forms in the MENA region, like in the UAE.
We can stop judging each other, and we can make peace in this world.
Where New York University Abu Dhabi staged a virtual poetry event which saw word spinners stream their lyrical art in an online open mic night. In Dubai, there's Al Sirkal Avenue, a popular cultural district of the Emirate packed with galleries. This year, the community went into lockdown, but not before quickly digitizing more than 1,000 artworks. Helping to make this a virtual reality was Tanzanian photographer Mohammed Sumji, who has been a member of the Al Sirkal Avenue community since 2011. He says online galleries are creating unique, educational experiences for art lovers.
You know, it's never going to replicate the experience of being there physically, where you can actually see and experience, for yourself with your own eyes, the artwork. It comes pretty close. And I think the added advantage to having a multimedia experience is the ability to add on, tags to these artworks where you can get additional information.
Those interested can also hear directly from the artists themselves, measure pieces for size, and purchase artworks they want to display at home. Since its digital premiere in March, Al Sirkal Avenue has seen more than 4,000 virtual goers entering their 360-degree galleries. And while relatively few purchases have been made since its launch, familiarity with digital art spaces is growing, say some gallerists. And who knows, it could be an avant-garde artistic movement in the making.
From old masters of the art world to new players building its future, and one Libyan princess who's very keen to see culture make a comeback in her war-torn homeland. I met up with her in Abu Dhabi to not only discuss her royal roots, but also her belief in art's positive power in troubled societies. A Libyan princess raised in exile. Alia Al Senussi has never let her family's ousting from the throne and their homeland in the 1960s define her, nor has she let it hold her back. Born in the United States, she gained a doctorate in London, focused on cultural patronage, political structures, and soft power. Saudi Arabia was her case study, and she's now an advisor to the country's Ministry of Culture. Alia became a familiar and outspoken voice on the global contemporary art circuit, passionate about art's role in shaping societies. And it's a message she continues to spread through her work as Art Basel's representative for the UK and the Middle East. The Royal supports emerging artists in the MENA region, not only to preserve their talent, but to aid the beautification and rebuilding of their commonly fractured communities, so often impacted by war or revolution. Inspire caught up with Alia to discuss the new landscape being painted by many artists in the region. Princess Alia, it's great to meet you. Thank you for talking to me today.
Lovely to be here, thank you.
Let me take you back to London and to your PhD dissertation at SOAS.
Do I really want to remember that moment?
Those joyful days. You were focusing on, in that dissertation, the impacts for potential social change that contemporary artists have in Saudi Arabia. What was the most surprising discovery for you?
I've been very passionate about the arts of the Middle East in general, and particularly Saudi, and always saw that there was this incredible scene that was there and this amazing growth and just support for artists. And to see that really come to fruition with the new Saudi Arabia, as everyone is calling it, has been really heartwarming and really wonderful. And I just hope, of course, we've seen a lot of negativity around that. And I hope that the rest of the world embraces that, because it's a wonderful thing.
Picking up on what you call the new Saudi Arabia, is it ready in terms of the infrastructure that artists would need to emerge and flourish?
There is the desire to create that infrastructure. So there's a brand new Ministry of Culture that was created in June 2018. There is a variety of other kind of government and even public-private partnerships. There is this growing infrastructure, but really at the heart of it, and as we always say in the art world, the building blocks of everything, of the market, of institutions, is the artists, and Saudi has that. So if we can find a way to further support them, and I think seeing what's happening here in the UAE has been so heartening. Dubai is the home of the market in many ways. Abu Dhabi is the home of the institutions. Sharjah is the home of the soul. It'll be nice to see how Saudi can complement that.
From Saudi, let me take you to Libya. Your family was deposed back in the 1960s, and you then returned after the fall of Gaddafi in 2011. How do you feel about the country today?
Well, what was so amazing to go back then was really the sense of hope. I mean, to kind of go back, it was December 2011, and then we spent a few weeks there, and then I went back many, many times throughout 2012 and 2013. The sense of hope, the sense of positivity. Also, those kinds of mixed emotions that come with that. As somebody who's, I'm half Libyan, half American, and to be welcomed as such, and to have, a kind of variety of really incredible anecdotes, and, I'll tell you all another time, of my interactions with so many young women there was incredible.
Can young creatives in Libya play any part in its cultural reconstruction, not least in Benghazi?
Well, there's been an incredible mapping, I think, also at the time of the Arab Spring, of the street artists. And, there's always this debate in the art world, is street art really art? And, Basquiat started as a street artist. And, you have a lot of these examples. Banksy, there was a kind of big debate about, will Banksy be remembered as a great artist? And in Libya, I think that they very much had a huge role to play in the revolution and in the way that people perceived what was happening in the new Libya. I mean, street art played a role in protests and in the revolution, and also in Tunisia and Egypt and even in Lebanon, and how street art plays a role in that. So I think the young people in Libya found a way to express themselves through art and culture.
No two countries in the Middle East and North Africa are the same, but talk to me about the degrees of censorship that we're seeing in the region.
State-sponsored censorship is, I think, for a lot of audiences would think, very much a part of what we see here in the Gulf in general and in the Middle East, but actually not. I think, for better or worse, I think sometimes maybe governments don't even know that they should be censoring things, and it's a kind of lack of interpretation of that. But I think they also understand that to have such a strict control and have strict censorship is really kind of works against oneself. And there is self-censorship, but it's also trying to achieve the things that you want to change instead of just kind of making a large fight for no purpose.
Lastly, let me ask you about stereotypes. To what degree, with the people that you encountered, be it collectors or those within the art community, are they attaching stereotypes to artists from the Middle East region, Arab artists? Do they believe that their art is always born out of a quest for some kind of peace or unity, or that it stems from war, struggle and conflict?
People realize, well, of course, if you have Middle Eastern artists and they've grown up, many of the Lebanese artists growing up in the Civil War, artists that are growing up in rapidly changing contexts here in the UAE, in Saudi Arabia, they're going to be talking about those subjects. They're going to be talking about the things that they grew up with. You know, they didn't go to these pristine white cube, institutions. So that, I think, has been a surprising thing for me to see the resistance of traditional art history to embrace what's happening in the Middle East. But I think that's also changing as we see what's happening with African American artists, with female artists, non-traditional, or let's say what you would want to call in a kind of the old world normal.
Princess Alia, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.
Well, that is a wrap of our show for this week. Thank you for watching, and do be sure to catch all of our programmes online at euronews.com. Before I say goodbye, here are some artistic posts that we liked on Instagram this week. Take care, stay safe and stay home. I'll see you next time. Noor from Kuwait says she likes to touch people's hearts with her paintings. And UAE resident Loris from Lebanon worked on an art collection titled Min Hayati, or From My Life.